thing that you need to understand is that the person that you're talking to, the person that you're having these discussions with, needs to feel safe, that they can tell you how they really feel. Hi, my name's Ken Seal, and let's talk addiction. Okay, so the last few videos we've been discussing denial patterns. And we've talked about how important it is for us to understand how we lie to each other, not just for the alcoholic and addict, but just as importantly for the friends and family of the alcoholic and addict. We have to be able to tell ourselves the truth. All right, so just to go over it one more time, denial, the definition of denial is the natural tendency to not want to think or talk about your issues, okay? It's also automatic and it's unconscious. All right, now the one we're going to talk about today is being compliant, all right? Basically, people who are compliant are going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. So if you approach your son or daughter or friend about their addiction issues, they're going to tell you exactly what they think you want to hear. Oh yeah, I'm taking care of it, it's not a problem, whatever. They're going to tell you exactly what they want you, what they think you want to hear, but they're not going to do anything about it. Okay. Now, why do people do that? You know, okay, now it's interesting. When I was working in the prisons, obviously, people who came to my classes, the inmates that came to my program, at the end of the program, I had to write them a letter, a report to send to the parole board for them to determine whether or not they've changed as far as their addiction ideas are and whether or not they were going to let them out of prison. So you can well imagine that there were a lot of guys that showed up for that program that basically really didn't care, but they're going to tell me what I want to hear. Unfortunately for those guys, I've been doing it long enough, I can usually tell. And it's not all of them, it's just a few. Maybe out of 15 guys, there might be 2 or 3 people in the class that are like that. Now, the interesting thing I found with compliance, with the people that I worked with, as far as other therapists and addiction counselors, was that they had an idea in their head that the reason people did this was that they were lazy. They were con artists. They were being rebellious or defiant or stubborn. Okay? And that's true. That is true for many people who are compliant. But I think there's one other thing that we need to look at that's very important. And that is, I really believe that a lot of people who say, that tell you what you want to hear, basically, they're doing it out of fear. And it's really simple. They are afraid, really, to go where it is you are trying to get them to go to actually take a hard look at themselves, to tell themselves the truth about their addiction and to do something about it. And that scares the hell out of people. So one way of getting around that is to just tell people what you think that they want to hear, to make it look like you're doing what they want to do. And so the thing that we need to understand is that you have to be careful when you're having these discussions with people. A lot of guys in my business would threaten people. If you don't listen and learn, I'm throwing you out of class and you're not going home. You're going to stay in prison. And that doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any good. The thing that you need to understand is that the person that you're talking to, the person that you're having these discussions with, needs to feel safe, that they can tell you how they really feel. And if they can tell you how they really feel, then they'll feel safe enough to go to where you want them to go. Personally, I would much rather have somebody, when I was doing that initial assessment in prison with guys, tell me, you know what, Ken, you're full of crap. This is bullshit. It's a waste of time. You're only here for money. You know, and at least I know they're being sincere with me. They're being honest with me. It's called integrity. They're telling me the truth, even though the truth they may believe might get them in trouble. It doesn't matter. They tell them the truth. So I would much rather, you know, have somebody tell me the truth and tell me they think I'm full of shit than to give me all the bullshit and tell me what they think I want to hear. And the only way that you can get people to do that is to make them feel safe. You've got to make them feel safe. You've got to make them understand that no matter what they say, no matter how they feel, no matter what they think, they can talk to you about it and you're not going to give them crap about it. You're going to understand it. Because quite frankly, I understood why people, hell, when I was in recovery, or not before I got in recovery, one of the reasons that I was afraid to go to treatment or go to AA was because I had a feeling I knew what they were going to want me to do, and that was to take a good, honest look at myself. And that scared the hell out of me. It scared the hell out of me. But, I would tell people exactly what they wanted to hear about my drinking, try to get them off my back, bullshit them, con them, do whatever I had to do. But the main reason was because, it wasn't because I was lazy, it was because I was afraid to have to do the things that I thought I was going to have to do, and turned out I was right. I had to do these things, and that's scary. So a lot of people are just going to be compliant and tell you what they want to hear, but it's not because they're just bad people or they're lazy or rebellious. It's because they're afraid. And so you have to try to help them, feel safe enough to talk to you. So one of the reasons that a good therapist or a good counselor or AA works, or a good minister, is that they make that client, that person, feel comfortable enough to be able to discuss what he really thinks. And that's the only way you get to it. But the problem is a lot of people are going to be compliant, again, using fear or threats against them to get them to listen and take this information in. Isn't going to work. It's not going to work. Okay? So that's all we've got today for compliance. Next time we're going to talk about one of my favorite ones where the guy says, hey, I'm cured. I got this. I'm not sick anymore. I'm not an alcoholic addict anymore. Okay? So that's all we got for today. I'll see you next time. Cheers. Hi, my name's Ken Seal, and this is Let's Talk Addiction. Now, if you like what you've seen and you think it can be helpful, and I believe it can be, I've been helping hundreds of people for years, hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll keep these coming. Thank you.